Hey everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of Boost It or Bust It. I had a busy week in real life and didn't find a ton of time to play WoW. I didn't let this affect me though, and I feel I made the most of my playtime. Sometimes you need to keep sight of priorities in your life outside the game, and for this week, that was my focus. With that said, I still made progress because I kept to a routine and focused on making gold during my minimal playtime this week. Overall, I will say that the gold making part of this series has been the most fun for me, and it's making me think about boosting another character to speedrun dungeons for transmog. I will defer until I finish up leveling my character for a full comparison. As of next week, I'm going to start focusing on leveling and using more passive means to make gold on my boosted toon. If I do choose to boost again, the characters I'm considering are either a rogue or a druid. Druids are universally known as great speedrunners, but rogues are awesome because you never miss a chest. If you have an opinion on what class I should choose, let me know in the comments below. I want to provide my thanks to each of my subscribers and those that continue to watch my videos week to week. If you're watching this and like my content, please click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of the video. Alright, so let me know, druid or rogue? Now let's get to this week's updates with a look at my busted toon. So, I spent a whopping 40 minutes on this guy this week, which represents time checking my AH and auctioning. I continued to make pet sales on this realm as I managed to sell a living amber for 3,789 gold, a ravenous prideling for 3,891 gold, and another spawn of Garland for 1,329. I sold this pattern of Truth Faith vestments for 714 gold. This dropped sometime back in Stratholme from Balnazar. Lastly, I sold a couple of Eternal Waters for 119 gold. But I also sold a couple of crystallized water for 5 gold apiece. For those of you who don't know, 10 crystallized waters makes 1 eternal water. If you're going to sell these crystallized water on the AH, always take a look to see if there's extra to make an eternal. It always will make you more gold in the long run. I ended the week with 0 levels, but having made 10k thanks largely to my boosted character, with 9k in sales being due to him funneling pets this way. That's 17k total that my boosted character has transferred to my busted toon. Alright, so let's see how I did on my boosted character for this week. I spent a lot less time actively playing and yet did fairly well because of the playtime I put in during my past few weeks. If you remember, I finished up last week at 297k. I ended up making 12k in raw gold this week and 31k in the auction house. For transmog, I managed to sell a couple of minor pieces here, totaling about 600 gold. I sold this really cool headpiece for 1,557 gold, and these ugly green boots for 1,357. My best sale of the week came from the Heart of Fear trash run, where I managed to pick up these Ritzen's Rune Blasters, and sold those for 9,200 gold. I only sold 2 pets this week for decent prices, having sold another Bowsy for 2850, and after running Throne of Four Winds and picking up Drafty, who I sold for 2375. Overall, I ended the week at 341,052 gold and being 75% towards my goal of 452,000 gold. Before I wrap up this week, I want to talk about a tried and true method of gold making, the humble flip. Personally, I love doing this, and I'm going to show you an example of how this works this week with my results. I managed to make 5 times the gold that I initially sunk into an investment. So without further ado, let's jump over and take a look at how I did this. Okay, to start, basically what you do is you navigate to the Endermine Journal, as you can see here, and you choose your realm. So for me, I'm on Stormreaver on my boosted toon, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Once you get here, you have all sorts of different items that you can choose from. So deals is one that I will surf and take a look at from time to time. But I'm going to show you a specific one that I did last week that yielded me over 3 times the amount. So I'm going to go to mining. And what I always look at is things like how rare is the material. So if you look, infernal brimstone is a good example. There is only 15 on the auction house right now, and they're selling for about 25 gold. The other piece is it used in crafting? And a really good example of this is something like corium, which is what I did last week. So we look at corium, there's only 71 on the auction house. I know how rare it is when you're trying to farm it. So I'm going to click on here. And once you're on this screen, you can see a couple of things. You can see what the current price is. You can see obviously things like your mean pricing and how many there are as a quantity. The US kind of median price is about $6.50. So that doesn't mean that that's what you're going to sell it for, because it's all supply and demand. So let's look at April 1st, and you can see that right now, on April 1st, they were going for 487 gold. They then jumped up to 900 gold, and of course there was only one on the auction house. So this is supply and demand. There's none, so you can put it for a little bit higher. What's interesting thereafter is that slowly and surely, it's at 400 gold here, it starts to creep down. April 5th, it's at 250, and all the way to April 8th, where it crashes to 200. Well, on that day, I bought those, and I ended up doubling my gold with that. So I'd actually mined a few pieces of corium. So I got 4, and I bought these 4 on this day, and then I sold them for 985 gold a piece in the last week here. So it's just a really good example of how you can kind of look at a material and how it will over time lose value based on people being just wanting to offload the mats, and how you can make out better on it. You can see actually today it's at 500 gold, so I'm going to jump off here and I'm going to go buy that out and see if I can double my gold. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and please feel free to comment, subscribe, and until next week, have a great week, and thanks again. Bye bye.